Balthazar, 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 Balthazar.
In Professor Balthazar's town, it happened from time to time that a machine became defective. Then there was only one man who could help, Amadeus. There was no one in town who could find the trouble as quickly as he could. Amadeus was an expert whose extraordinary hearing never failed him. Over the years, Amadeus's hearing became so sensitive that he could hear the approaching rain 3 days before it reached Professor Balthazar's town. The townspeople never questioned Amadeus's predictions and prepared themselves accordingly. So that when the rain really did arrive on the 3rd day, it never took anyone by surprise. However, one summer there was no rain at all. A great drought prevailed. The heat became unbearable. And soon there was a water shortage. Thirst was everywhere. Almost the entire town was dug up, not to build a subway, but in a desperate search for water. All kinds of things were unearthed, but there was no water. There was plenty of water in the sea, but of course it wasn't fit to drink. It did, however, serve as a means of cooling people off a bit. The townspeople finally decided to call Amadeus and ask him to listen for underground water so that they wouldn't have to dig in vain. But an incredibly terrible thing happened. Amadeus could no longer hear anything. The only way to communicate with him was by gestures. And then they discovered what was wrong. Amadeus had water in his ears. And it simply wouldn't come out. Poor Amadeus was as deaf as a post. A tragedy. There was only one person who could help, Professor Balthazar. When he was told what the trouble was, he began to think deeply. He thought and thought and thought. And then he had the solution for Amadeus's hearing problem. Professor Balthazar invented the ear water shaker. It was capable of shaking any kind of water out of any kind of ear. Thanks to this ingenious invention, Amadeus got his hearing back. He went to work at once. Everyone stayed out of his way and kept as quiet as possible. And finally, wonderful to tell, he found water. Right in the middle of the park. There was no end to the general rejoicing. Meanwhile, during Amadeus's deafness, rain had sneaked up on the town, and this time it took everyone by surprise. However, it didn't dampen anyone's good spirits, for its arrival meant the end of the drought. In memory of this particular summer, a drought museum was founded in which all the things were exhibited which had been dug up. Amadeus was made director of the Weather-Making Institute. And in his spare time, he helped the farmers find water. Every time he discovered a new source, there was great rejoicing. The ear water shaker, Professor Balthazar's marvelous invention, was set up next to the swimming pool and proved to be a major attraction. A fountain was built on the spot where Amadeus found water, and it still stands in Professor Balthazar's town.